Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Love it if you hang out with me later tonight, 8 o'clock, Pizza by Roan, sports trivia if you want to come on by. No LSU baseball game in town tonight, so if you're looking for something to do this evening, come on by Pizza by Roan's on Perkins. You can win gift cards, drink some cold beer, eat some delicious pizza, some wings. They got great sandwiches as well over there at Pizza by Roan's, and win some gift cards. So come hang out with us. Pizza by Roan's tonight at 8 o'clock for sports trivia. Last night, college basketball crowned a national champion. The Florida Gators beat the Houston Cougars 65-63. I thought it was a great game in terms of the competitiveness. I was stunned at the ineptitude on offense in the first half. Not necessarily because the defense was so great, which it was good, but the shooting was putrid.
Yeah, I think both teams combined for like 0 and 15 from three to start the game.
But not just that they were missing; they were clanging the ball off the backboard.
Yeah.
I tweeted about it. I was like, I never seen the ball smash off the backboard this many times. I get you're playing in a big, huge stadium. I get that it's different sight lines than you're used to, but usually you get that kind of effort maybe in the Final Four when you hadn't played in that kind of arena, and then you get a chance you're used to it. The second game, just brutal shooting early in the game, but Houston looked more comfortable than Florida. I want to say that Houston did a phenomenal job in just taking Walter Clayton out of the game. They just denied him the ball, made everything difficult for him, and he wasn't able to get going at all. I thought that was brilliant by Houston. And then I think this in the second half, that Houston's problem for 5 years now has been they haven't been good enough on offense. They've been good enough on defense. They haven't been good enough on offense. And you thought they had rectified that by becoming the second best three-point shooting team in college basketball. But when it came time to go win a championship, and it came time to play the most important minutes in Houston basketball history, they couldn't play offense. Their last 4 possessions, including one offensive rebound, turned into a failure to get a shot up. They got an offensive rebound with 1:22 to go, and Tugler turned the ball over. They got the ball back, and LJ Cryer turned the ball over. They fouled Elijah Martin, who hit 2 free throws, and they took the ball down the floor, and they turned the ball over, Emmanuel Sharp. And then they got one more chance at it, down 2, and Sharp turned it over again. 4 turnovers in the final minute and a half without a single shot attempt. And that's just a failure to execute on the offensive end. Florida's defense is great. I'm not taking anything away from Florida's defense. But even if you're playing a great defense, you can function as an offense and get a shot up. And Houston, to me, the first 3 times felt like they just put their head down and started dribbling. And that's not going to work. You've got to move the ball. You've got to use motion. You've got to set screens. They were just driving forward, and the ball got knocked off their knee. Like, it's just bad offense. And so Florida hits the free throw. You're down 2. You come back down the floor. You've had a timeout to set things up. And to me, as I look at Houston's final possession, they did a poor job of setting screens. They didn't set good enough screens on the right wing. It was a stagger. They were trying to come off of 2 screens. And then they pinned down to bring up towards the top Emmanuel Sharp, and they didn't pick Clayton off. And he's able to recover and contest to the point that Sharp couldn't get a shot off. You would like it if Emmanuel Sharp had the floor awareness to see Clayton coming, to pump fake him right by him, and then go around. Sorry, fighting off a sneeze really bad. That was bad.
That's tough.
It's just a hard spot to be in. I'm talking and I'm about to sneeze. Just I don't know how to handle that any better than I did there. Either way, like, it would be great if he could pump and then take one step over and release it, but that's explosive athlete coming to make a play on you, and it's crunch time. You feel like you got to get the shot up. But the execution was just bad, and Houston did a good enough job in this game defensively to win the game. They held Florida to 65 points. They held Walter Clayton to 3 of 10 shooting. He only scored 11. He was 1 of 7 from deep. But to Clayton's credit, 2 things. When he wasn't making shots early, he dished out assists. He finished with 7 assists in the game. And then when it came to championship time, he got 2 and 1s in the last 5 minutes of the game to continue to keep Florida right there within striking distance. And finally, as Houston's offense faltered, Florida made the plays offensively to get it done. And so, again, I appreciate good defense. I am one that thought the LSU-Alabama 2011 game in Tuscaloosa was a great football game. It was 9-6. Thought it was a great game. I can sit there and watch a pitcher's duel all day long. Don't need offense to be entertained. And I can absolutely appreciate great defensive work and a great defensive game. I don't have to have 88-86 to feel good about a college basketball game. I thought the defense was really good, and I can appreciate that. I also thought the shooting early in the game was terrible, and I thought Houston's inability late in the game to execute anything resembling the offense they've really been all year was more so inflicted because of their lack of execution and inability to rise up in the moment than Florida just being smothering. Florida's great on defense, one of the best defenses in college basketball, and they get some credit for this, but I'm giving more credit to the fact that Houston just couldn't get it done to get a shot up late. You miss shots, that's one thing. You're dribbling the ball off your knee because you're not looking up. It was bad. It was bad execution by Houston, and you feel so badly for Kelvin Sampson, who's been such an elite coach for such a long time and has built such an incredible program, not team, program at Houston. And to watch it drift away, I mean, that's an agonizing final 5 seconds there where the ball's just bouncing on the floor and you can't pick it up. Like, that is, you at least want to get one in the air. Just give me a chance. And they couldn't give him a chance because ball was just bouncing away, and there was nothing that Houston could do to figure it out. Do you have any differing takes from my thoughts on that one?
Well, it was just another game for Florida where they went down in the second half, and they just came back and found a way to win. It was really impressive to watch. It was a really good game. I agree with you. I don't care that the score wasn't higher than it was. It was pretty, shocking. The first half was shocking in terms of the shooting from both teams. It was just really surprising that they both were so bad offensively in the first half. And other than that, though, it was a great game. I'm glad that it was a good game. You never know how these national championships are going to turn out. So it was exciting to watch. And Todd Golden, the beginning of the season, there was all the stuff swirling around him with the allegations, and
nobody seemed to talk about that last night.
It never came. Not too surprising, but at the same time, he obviously has overcome that, and the team won a national championship. So congrats to them. But the SEC had probably the best season it's ever had in its basketball history.
Not just the SEC, best season for any conference ever in basketball to have. We had 7 Sweet 16, 2 in the Final Four, had the champion. That's about as good as you can do at that point. And so tough one for Houston to swallow. Florida, incredible work there. And we'll leave a college basketball season in the rearview mirror there as Florida wins at 65-63 to claim the school's 3rd ever national title. All right, when we come back, is DBU coming back? We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show. You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Before we get into DBU and whatnot, we put a station survey up at LouisianaSports.net for your champions dinner if you win the Masters. They've pulled the entire station. Everybody tossed theirs in the mix. Of course, to no one's surprise, mine is phenomenal and clearly the best.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone expected that, and obviously I delivered with a phenomenal effort. But there are some that are worth noting here. Rivers, I think this is Ricky Bobby's wife's meal plan here.
Yeah.
Rivers goes with the Blue Store shrimp fried rice, Taco Bell cheesy gordita crunch, Chick-fil-A kale crunch salad, waffle fries with Chick-fil-A sauce, Little Caesars hot and ready pepperoni pizza, Racing Cane's chicken fingers with cane sauce, Domino's lava cake with vanilla ice cream, a Wendy's frosty and French fries, and Superior margaritas. She had the whole thing catered.
Yeah. That was like
I've been slaving over this for hours.
That was like a couple of years ago when they had McDonald's at the White House. I think.
Donald Trump had all the fast food things
fast
laid
food,
out. He goes, I think this is what they like.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's very interesting. But yeah, Ribs goes all with a lot of
just all bought from somewhere,
fast
from a
food
restaurant.
items.
Yeah.
I thought that there were a couple of interesting ones. A lot of the station, including Paul O'Neill, Matt Moscona, Charles Hannegriff. Is that it?
I think that was it.
Yeah. So 3 have a crawfish boil as their champions dinner. I got to say, the champions dinner is tie and green jacket attire, which is a little bit prohibitive to doing a crawfish boil. I got, Ben Crenshaw over here peeling crawfish.
Yeah, not to mention you're going to have to teach like half of the group's going to be taught how to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking,
probably everybody.
I don't think Hideki Matsuyama's done a lot of crawfish boils in his day.
Probably
and
not.
He's got the suit and tie. I'm going to have to handle that. So that's all a big to do. T-Bob has for his drinks La Fin du Monde beer, which I don't know what that is. Port wine, I don't know what that is either, and then a finishing cigarette.
I like the finishing cigarette.
I'm not sure they're going to let you light up in the champions locker room.
Well, on the patio. He's got it on the patio.
Yeah. Okay.
You can get a lot of the heater on the patio.
That was more so, although who won? Was it Angel Cabrera, I think, won smoking cigs.
Oh, Angel Cabrera, not Miguel Angel Jimenez.
No.
I think he smoked cigars though, but maybe Angel Cabrera probably was smoking a cigarette.
And then my guy Taylor Sharp. I mean, I confronted him about this. He feels good about it, but he's got
effort.
His appetizers fried pickles. I don't like pickles, so I'm not doing that. His entree is a cheeseburger. His sides are macaroni and cheese and chili cheese fries. Then he's got dessert chocolate cake, and then for a drink, a nice American lager.
I mean, it's like he just took off, went to the Cheesecake Factory.
I'm just imagining these guys, these like distinguished men in their green jackets in Augusta National Golf Club eating chili cheese fries.
Yeah. They get a fork and a knife out and they're trying to cut it up, and it's not going to work.
Taylor said he thought everyone would be super bougie, and he was just going to make sure that he was going to try to be the exact opposite for everyone, which is interesting. What's yours? You didn't answer the question.
No, I know. I forgot to send mine in, but I did actually just send it. Hopefully maybe we can add it in.
Did you go for a Louisiana flair?
Yeah. I've got Louisiana across the board pretty much,
okay.
But we can start with the appetizers, and I've got a crawfish and crab dip with bow tie pasta.
Okay.
So kind of like
fried bow tie, that's killed.
That's good stuff. And then we got fried frog legs. So I think that'll be interesting for everyone.
I never had a fried frog leg. I assume I would try one.
It's good. It's like chicken. It's not much different, but I just thought it'd be funny because it's Louisiana and people are gonna be like, "What is this?"
This is like the water boy comes to Augusta.
Yeah, and then Sensation Salad, which is also actually Louisiana,
Is that right?
Louisiana born Sensation Salad, originally from here. So that'll be a nice little something a little bit healthy at least to throw in there. And then for the entrees, I've got pan-seared speckled trout. I love speckled trout. It's one of my favorite fish. With capers on top of that. And then filet mignon with rosemary and garlic butter for those that don't want the fish. And then for sides, we got red beans and rice, fried okra, and then chicken and sausage gumbo. So a lot of options there.
Yes.
And then for dessert, bread pudding with rum sauce, a classic.
That is
Louisiana choice. And then for drink, we'll have a little Sazerac action, the cocktail.
That is, you did very, very much with your Louisiana roots.
Yes.
They're not terrible. I've seen much worse. Mine, I went with seafood gumbo and boudin balls for appetizer.
Yep.
For the entree, ribeye, and then trout almondine. I wouldn't even consider getting the fish. I'm going ribeye all day, but we got to go with fish option if you're going to go Louisiana. For the sides, crawfish mac and cheese. There's your little crawfish add-in. And then some cream spinach. I wanted to go with a really healthy vegetable there that's got a bunch of heavy cream and butter
spinach,
in it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great. Then creme brulee for dessert, and then a little Johnny Walker Blue Label for the beverage.
Solid.
So, look, just an unbelievable effort.
It's
by
not.
me.
It's not perfect, but it's good.
I also got a chuckle out of the dessert that Jordan went with, which was slutty brownies, which I can't even believe that Rivers put in there. It's probably great.
Yeah,
I just never seen the term. So yeah, I don't know if I don't think I'm not a member at Augusta, but I don't think they're going to allow you to put the term slutty brownies on their champions.
It's not a very distinguished word to use there.
They're not into things of that nature. So that's a look at some. You can look at the entirety of our staff's picks over there at LouisianaSports.net for Masters Champions Dinner tonight. Scotty Scheffler will host that at Augusta. Let's talk a little bit of LSU football here as they wind down spring football. They will finish it up with some. With the practice inside Tiger Stadium on Saturday morning. I think it's vital that LSU restore the greatness that was DBU. Y'all are all aware, if you've watched LSU for 2 seasons, they just have not been able to cover well enough. I thought it was a massive problem 2 years ago when the defense really fell apart, but it started against Jordan Travis and Florida State. They just simply couldn't cover anybody. And I thought that continued in the game against USC in the fourth quarter last year. LSU built a lead and couldn't hold the lead because Miller Moss was making plays. Now, I want to put a caveat into that yes, USC's wide receivers made a couple of sensational plays in that game. But the LSU DBs that I'm used to seeing are going to make more plays on the ball than LSU has made on the ball the last 2 years. This is not something I can back up statistically. It's purely something I saw with my own eyes, just being inside Tiger Stadium and watching the game unfold. Ole Miss actually covered LSU. Every time it felt like Garrett Nussmeier was making a throw, Ole Miss had somebody in the vicinity to contest the throw. Now, LSU made big plays. I mean, you had Aaron Anderson over the middle, just a sensational throw on the fourth down to tie the game in overtime. Kyron Lacey makes a play on the ball in overtime. But it almost had guys in position. I feel like far too often LSU just hasn't had guys in position the last 2 years. And that just comes with talent and the ability to play your technique and to stick with elite SEC wide receivers. And LSU has made a concerted effort to go into the transfer portal and overhaul the secondary. Overhaul it. Jakeem Jackson, Tamarcus Cooley, they're in here to cover some people. No doubt. And they're going to probably be out there early and often. You know the kind of talent that DJ Pickett is. Obviously. He's got star written all over him. Elite length, good speed, got to put on some weight, but great ball skills as well. At safety, how big a difference is it going to make that Jordan Gilbert has had this shoulder repaired? Is Deshaun Spears ready to step up and become an enforcer back there and a guy who can make some plays on the ball? Ashton Stamps returns for his 3rd year. I'm not real sure what to make of Ashton Stamps' first 2 years. I think he was probably ill-prepared to play 2 years ago as a true freshman who came in as a 3-star recruit and was thrust into playing time because there were injuries in the secondary and nobody was really producing, so you go with a young buck. There were times where he graded really high on Pro Football Focus this past year as a sophomore, but has he had an impact similar to... I'm not even talking about Patrick Peterson and Derek Stingley and Morris Claiborne and Tyrann Mathieu. I'm talking about Jalen Mills. I'm talking about Rashard Robinson. I'm talking about Ron Brooks. I'm talking about Christian Fulton. I'm talking about guys who were never really the number one corner on a team, but were just really good second or third options that ended up being NFL players. Do we feel like Ashton Stamps is ready to be that? I don't know. Here's what I know. Corey Raymond, for better than a decade, has developed 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars into pros. And this roster has 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars. And you need to convert some of these guys into pros, into second-round picks that make rosters. And you become that based on your performance on Saturdays in purple and gold. And if LSU can make more plays on the ball, get some turnovers, stop some drives, and get the ball back to this offense, they're going to win a ton of games. I don't really have many questions about the offense. I can poke holes in just about every level of the defense with question marks. Not with certainties that suggest they have no chance of making it, but with question marks. And still, corner is a question mark. You look at the ranking in high school of Jakeem Jackson and DJ Pickett, well, you've got guys with a lot of potential. You look at what you hear from practice with Ashton Stamps and PJ Woodland, you've got some guys who have made plays out on the Ponderosa. You look at the productivity in the ACC from Tamarcus Cooley, okay. Deshaun Spears, huge recruit. Jordan Gilbert, 3-year starter. It's possible that LSU can restore itself to what we've known, but it's still a question mark. The best seasons happen when these question marks get resounding answers. What's my confidence level in LSU becoming a top 5 or 6 SEC defense against the pass? It's reasonably high, 6 or 7 out of 10. That's my trust in Corey Raymond. That's my trust in his evaluation, his development to get things right. I don't think that was allowed to happen last year in his first year with what I deem to be limited talent. And I said that on the show 2 weeks into camp. I don't think LSU's good enough at corner. And it got a lot of pushback. And I didn't think they played well enough at corner the first month and a half of the season. I certainly didn't think they played well enough corner against Alabama in Tiger Stadium. Now, it didn't matter how they played at corner against Texas A&M. A&M just ran the ball. But there are going to be times where teams are trying to keep up with LSU by throwing the football. And that is when you've got to find a way to make some more plays. That's Corey Raymond's duty. And if they can get there, you're a playoff team. You just are. There's not that many questions that need to be answered to get LSU into the playoffs. But that's one of them, and you got to answer it with a resounding yes. We'll see. LSU will practice on Saturday morning to close out spring football. If you're looking for my LSU football content, you can always find it at Hunt on LSU. It's on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast. Hunt on LSU, all LSU football all year round. Let's talk some Saints. Sharief, Ishaq, WDSU when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show. You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Some Saints, Sharief Ishaq here, but first we need to cover a couple things. The Grizzlies have been pretty good. They fired their coach. The Nuggets won a championship. They fired their coach. The Pelicans stink every year, and they never fire their coach. Sharief, you got an explanation for that? I'm not even suggesting that Willie Green absolutely deserves to be fired, but everybody else is firing their coach in the NBA.
Just keep doing what you're doing. But then as Allen said, it worked out for him. Until it didn't.
Do you expect honestly, that the Pelicans are going to move on?
No, I don't think so. I have a hard time thinking that they're going to move on from him. I just think that, I think Gail Benson really likes him a lot. And I really think she likes him a lot. I think that, they see what happened this year with the awful injuries. And I just think that, they're looking at it as, man, it's not fair to him. Dealt with a lot of injuries, but the problem is every year he's dealing with injuries, and every year they're healthy. Whenever they do get back healthy, it's still the same problem to me. So I think that to me it's a coin flip, but the coin tells me that he's coming back next year. It's just my opinion, but if it were up to me, I would fire Willie Green and go get Mike Malone since he was here for a year under Monty Williams as an assistant.
It's just it's a crazy dynamic in the NBA. Like, coaches just don't, unless you're Eric Spoelstra or Greg Popovich, like, nobody sticks around very long.
No. I mean, like, those guys are just, they're just well respected. They're in organizations that are run really well. They're winning organizations. Players seem to, like, they grab onto them. They certainly respect them a lot in terms of, like, their knowledge of the game. And I think that, like, players just honestly love them. They learn a lot from those coaches. And I think it's hard to get rid of coaches who can continue to win. Now, I know Popovich hasn't won in a long time, but still players in the ownership, they just respect him that much. I mean, he's done a lot in the past. But at some point in time, he's probably going to retire. I mean, he hasn't come back.
Yeah.
I mean, he come back yet. I'd be surprised if he comes back. But Spoelstra, like, every year, Spoelstra just finds a way to, this might be their worst year in a while, but it just seems like they find a way to win with what they have. They develop players to the draft. They don't really, like, go out there and sign, like, big-time free agents or trade for them. I mean, Jimmy Butler, in most recent years, probably was the only one outside of whenever they got LeBron in. But other than that, I mean, they do a good job just, like, bringing players in terms of the draft and developing. So it's hard, man. And NBA, I feel like the turnover is, like, much more drastic, especially with Mike Malone and Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins getting fired. I mean, on teams that are just set to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's weird timing to make that happen. Sharief Ishaq, WDSU, is our guest. All right, let's talk some Saints. Wherever you look, whether it's betting odds, Mel Kiper mock drafts, you see the Saints hovering around quarterback selections, whether it's in the first round, second round, or somewhere a little deeper in the draft. Do you feel like it is likely that the Saints take a quarterback at this point?
Look, if Shedeur Sanders is there at number 9, it'd be foolish to pass on him. It'd be malpractice.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, it'd be foolish to pass on Shedeur Sanders because then you're set up for the future. I mean, stop talking about, like, if you keep hearing them say, like, we have a team that can win, we feel like we have a team that can win. All right, if you feel like you have a team that can win, then why aren't you drafting for the future? I mean, use one pick on the future. And it's the most important position. If Derek Carr's only playing for 1 year and you have a, dynamic player like Shedeur Sanders, you take him at number 9. You don't even have to move up to get him if he's sitting there at number 9. But knowing them, this will be the year they trade back with Shedeur Sanders sitting there at number 9 for them. But for me, he's there 9. I'm taking him. I've done a mock draft last 3 weeks, and each one of those, actually last 2 weeks, and each time he was still sitting there at number 9. And I ran the draft simulator 10 times, and 7 out of the 10 times he was there. So it makes sense to take him at number 9.
What about Jackson Dart? I know Fletcher's been big on that. Are you in that camp as well?
Not for me. I mean, not at number 9. Maybe at 40, if the Saints decide, hey, we're not gonna do a quarterback at. Let's just say Shedeur Sanders is off the board. All right, like he's off the board at number 9, and they go whatever. Will Campbell. Let's just say for the sake of the exercise, Will Campbell's there. They take Will Campbell, and then at number 40, Jackson Dart's still there. Sure, I'm good with that at number 40, but not at number 9. I mean, that's just I just think that's just too much for me to do at number 9. I would do it like in the back half of the first round or at number 40. But I'm good with. I have no problems with Dart, just not at number 9.
What about Jalen Milroe at 40?
I don't know. I mean, he destroyed LSU. If he was playing LSU every single with the Saints quarterback, I mean, definitely. But I just need to see more from him in terms of his passing. Like, I feel like every time he had a good game, it was because he can outrun the defenses. He ain't doing that in the NFL. I mean, you have to have some kind of ability to pass the ball down the field. I keep hearing that he can throw the ball, a great deep ball, but I didn't see much of it in college. I need to see intermediate passing game too. It's just like you can't just have a deep ball. You got to be able to throw across the middle of the field whenever you have pressure in your face or whenever their defenses are disguising and blitzing you. I just haven't seen much of that. So not at 40 for me. I would do that at 70, their next 71, their next pick. I'd do it late second round or early third round if it was Jalen Milroe.
Are you buying all this smoke with the Saints, interviewing quarterbacks, working quarterbacks out, going to visit quarterbacks? Do you feel like that's legitimate, or do you think there are some smoke screens involved?
I think it's legitimate. Honestly. I truly think it's legitimate that they're actually looking at quarterbacks.
Do you think that affects Derek Carr?
I mean, does it affect him in terms like mentally for him? Like, do you think that the team's looking at other quarterbacks?
Yeah.
No, because he's getting paid a lot of money this year. I think he just knows that it's a one-year thing. He's going to go out and try to play his best ball and put whatever he can on tape for the next team, because that's just how it is. It's a one-year thing. So that's why I keep saying Saints need to pick a quarterback if he's there at number 9, especially if it's the guy I keep saying that they should pick. So it shouldn't affect him. Make him $40 million. I mean, go out there and show everybody that they were wrong, everything they're saying about him. But, like, history tells me that it's not going to work out for him long term, like with the Saints. I mean, they're not going to win more than 7 games. I mean, 8 games puts them right in the middle. I mean, is that what you are banking on? If you're the franchise, you want to keep being a 7-8 win team. No, it's just not going to work out. So, to me, time to move on. I mean, you put what you can on tape, and then move on with your career. I mean, it would have been great if they traded him before they gave him the extension, but it didn't work out, or the negotiated contract just didn't work out. So, boom, it's time to move on after this year, and hopefully you get somebody good in the draft.
It's an interesting spot. Sounds like we'll get our answer here in the next 4 weeks or so. Sharief, we appreciate the time. We'll talk again next week. Thanks, man.
All right, Hunt. Glad to see the pitching coming around.
It is. They look all right. They're moving in the right direction. So we'll continue to monitor the Fighting Tiger baseball squad. He's Sharief Ishaq, WDSU. Speaking of the Fighting Tiger baseball squad, I sent out a few tweets on LSU's pitching staff earlier today, and want to bring those up on there. So we'll do that, and then we'll play some Take It or Leave It and get out of here. It is a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show. This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Congratulations to Stuart Woodman from Prairieville. Stuart is the winner of our VEX European Bracket Challenge and takes home the grand prize of $1,000. Thanks to all participated in this year's VEX European Bracket Challenge, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and LouisianaSports.net, and also 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The following local businesses have also pledged to match your donations throughout the month: Lewis Mechanical, Patient Plus, and Action Industries, as well as Subaru of Baton Rouge, Service Chevrolet, Luba, and Duplessis Pool Builders. Visit 1045ESPN.com to help us reach our goal, and together we can make dreams come true.
So, as I mentioned there, I just wanted to toss a couple things out there that I put out on Twitter earlier today. I think right now, if I were to ask the LSU baseball fan, like, what do you think of Cade Anderson? The answer is probably like, the dude's awesome. He's the ace. He's been great. He's been phenomenal. If I would ask you about Anthony Ianson, you'd probably say, he's been okay. I think he had one good outing, struck out a bunch in one outing, but he's getting hit a little bit. He's okay. And I think that's probably what most people would suggest. And I don't think that's completely off base. Anderson has been better than Ianson. He's pitched deeper into games. He's gotten a lot of swing and miss. He's been really good. But Ianson's probably been a little bit better than most people think. And this is statistically what you're looking at between those two. And I realize you're not looking at this stat sheet and numbers are tough on radio, but just bear with me here for a little bit. Cade Anderson has thrown 4 2/3 innings more than Anthony Ianson. So they both made 8 starts, but Anderson 4 2/3 more. So you're looking at a couple of outs more a game that he's getting. Anderson's given up 36 hits. Ianson's given up 35 hits. So those are separated by 1. Anderson's given up 15 earned runs. Ianson's given up 16. Those are separated by 1. Anderson's strikeout to walk is 75-12. Ianson's is 66-15. Those are pretty comparable. Batting average against, Cade Anderson, 211. Anthony Ianson, 219. Both very good. Those statistics across the board are very, very similar. If you turn it to just SEC play, they're again very, very similar. Ianson, 18 2/3. Anderson, 15 2/3. So there's a 7-inning difference there, which is a big, big gap. Way more innings than Anderson, which, look, he's been better than Ianson. But you look at their strikeout to walk, 31-10 for Ianson, 38-6 for Anderson. You look at their earned runs, Anderson's given up 8. Anderson's given up 10. Ianson's given up 8. Like, their ERAs are pretty close. Anderson's 3.51, Ianson's 3.86. The point I'm trying to make here, I guess, is that Ianson's been pretty good to this point, and I don't know that people are embracing that. I didn't say he was dominant. Would I rather have Anderson and Ianson or Holman and Jump? I'd rather have Holman and Jump. Those guys proved it over the course of an entire SEC season. But at this point in the calendar, you didn't feel that way about those two guys. They really turned it on the last 5 weeks. There's still 6 weeks left in the regular season. So I guess the point I'm making is just give Ianson a chance here. I think he's been pretty good. Shores has got some work to do to get deeper into games, but I think LSU's 1-2 punch right now is pretty good. Wouldn't call it elite, wouldn't call it dynamic. Pretty good, I think, is fair to say right now, and it can certainly get better over the course of the next 6 weeks, and certainly you hope that's the case. We'll talk more about LSU's weekend rotation as the weekend goes on. There's one thing I'd like to address briefly before we get to the end of the show. And there's a video surfacing on the internet right now of Caitlin Clark at a practice. They're scrimmaging while she's at Iowa, the men's scrimmage team. For those that aren't aware of this, most big-time women's college basketball programs have a group of boys from the campus who most of which played at high school basketball that scrimmage them to give them a really good look in practices. And the video is of Caitlin Clark scoring 22 points in 2 minutes. And you can see the video, and it looks like to me, based on the pace and what Clark is doing, that they're working on late game situations coming back from a deficit. But if you watch this video, and I don't think you have to see the video to appreciate what I'm saying here, agree or disagree to understand it. Caitlin Clark is simply coming over half court in this video time and time again and shooting it from 38 to 40 feet. And she makes it every time. One, it's phenomenal shooting. She's probably the greatest female shooter I've ever seen. But what are we working on here? How is that helping the Iowa team at practice to have her dribble across midcourt, 4 Iowa players just stand still, and her launch it from 40 feet and make it? That doesn't seem to me to be a worthwhile practice philosophy. Now, I get it. No one cares. She's been gone from Iowa for a full year. She's an WNBA player right now, and it's just incredible to watch her shoot at this clip, and I get that. But at a certain point, if I was the Iowa coach, I would look at this practice session that we're having and going, nobody's really getting any better here. Caitlin's shooting 40-footers and making them unguarded, and nobody else that's on my team is getting any work at all. They're just standing there watching the ball fly in the basket. Just a weird thing to me to practice. If Caitlin wants to get some work up from 40 feet between practices, I'm all for it. I'm sure Steph Curry does that all the time. But wouldn't you want to run a play and try to work on something instead of just have her hoist it from 40? Just the curmudgeon in the room having a conversation. Beck, do you understand anything that I'm saying right now, or are you watching soccer?
No, it's halftime, so I was listening. Don't worry.
Halftime on the pitch. Great.
Yes. Yeah, that's a bit weird that they
Did you see the video?
I haven't seen the video,
so,
but...
I'm describing it literally.
Yeah,
she comes across midcourt. You've seen her shoot this shot before.
Yes.
And she just, Cassie's got the video here. She just chucks it up from 40 feet every time.
Yeah.
And nobody else on the court in practice does anything. It's well, what are we working on?
Yeah, what I'm not really sure what the point is. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's,
look at that. She just shoots it from 40 feet.
Yeah.
And it's awesome that she makes it, but no one else is getting anything done.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know, man. Look at this. Look, here she goes. Another one there, and it goes in.
She scored 22 points in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's incredible internet content.
It is.
It's pathetic practice habits.
It is. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me as why.
To be fair, I think a lot of what the women's team at Iowa did for 3 years under Caitlin Clark was watch her shoot it from 40 feet.
That was. So that's true.
Godspeed, Caitlin. Very good basketball player.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Do we have any take it or leave it, or do we not?
Yeah, we got a few.
Oh, wow. Great.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, first one here. The Toronto Blue Jays and Vlad Guerrero Jr. have come to an agreement. They will have Vlad in Toronto for 14 more years to the tune of $500 million. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take it.
I'll take it.
Not my money. He's very good. 14 years is a lot, but he's very young. So you're not talking about having a guy under contract till he's in his early 40s like the Angels did with Albert Pujols. So, yeah, I'm all for owners going for it, spending money, signing guys. And that's obviously what they've done in Toronto. Like, it was rumored that Vlad was on the trade market because they weren't going to get an extension done, and I was hoping the Cubs would dip their toe in that water. That ship sailed, so enjoy your Canadian citizenship there, Vlad. Go get him.
All right, next one here. Tiger Woods is design firm is going to be designing a new 9-hole short course.
Yeah, I saw that.
At the former Augusta Municipal Golf Course, which is where many of the caddies who worked at the Masters learned to play golf. Additionally, the TGR Foundation is opening a learning lab in Augusta, which will provide access to STEM education and other opportunities for students in Richmond County. Tiger building a 9-hole course in Augusta. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take it.
I'll take it.
Courses, I think, are awesome for young people that want to learn how to hit some shots. It doesn't require you to try to get home on a 420-yard par 4. You hit some 7-irons, hit some sand wedges, hit some chips and putts, and I think that's a great thing. So, yeah, I'm all for the municipal course. I think one of the coolest designs of a golf course in Louisiana is the Audubon course in New Orleans. Yep. They apparently haven't been able to keep it up financially, so I'm told it's not in very good shape right now, but I like a good short golf course, so I'm all in on that.
Alrighty.
Hustle on this one. We got 30 seconds.
Oh, that's it. We're good. We don't need to do one more. That's fine. I should have checked the clock. It's all good.
All right. That's it for Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hope to see you tonight at Pizza by Roan's for sports trivia, 8 o'clock on Perkins Road. If you missed any of the show, catch it on demand. Matt's going to drive you home on AFR. Coming up next, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge, genesisofbatonrouge.com is that website. How about valet maintenance? That good? 3 years of it. Sound good? It is good. 3 years, complimentary valet maintenance when you purchase a new Genesis. Nobody loves spending their whole morning on the service aisle. That's just not a great use of your time. How about you don't do it? You have Genesis of Baton Rouge come pick your car up. They leave you a loaner so you can get on about your day. They take your vehicle back to Airline and Pico, do the maintenance work, oil change, air filter, deal with the wiper fluid, wiper blades. When that's done, they bring it right back to you. It's the part of the experience of being a Genesis driver. Start your buying process today at genesisofbatonrouge.com. You can find their entire inventory right there. Look at great pictures, see their fantastic deals, and get behind the wheel of a Genesis. Go see them Airline and Pico. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. Genesis of Baton Rouge.